Right now, you can do something almost no adult animal on Earth can do. You can drink this and be fine. Milk from another animal. A cow. You drink the milk of a cow. Stop and look at how strange that is. No other adult animal does this. Not for their own mothers. And definitely not from a completely different species. Imagine a grown lion walking up to a cow and gently milking it for breakfast. It sounds absurd. That is you every morning. Milk is baby food. For a baby cow. Made by a cow for a cow. And you, a fully grown human, drink it. On purpose. Every day. Now here is the part nobody thinks about. Almost every other adult mammal on the planet cannot do this. A cat cannot. A dog cannot. A lion cannot. Not even most other humans. Around 2/3 of all adult humans alive today cannot properly digest fresh milk. It makes them sick. So if you can drink a tall glass of milk and feel nothing, you are the strange one. You are the mutant. Because that ability is not normal. It is a rewrite of your own code. And it came from something desperate. Our ancestors drank milk that was making them sick for thousands of years before their bodies caught up. Why would anyone do that? Let me show you. Start with what milk actually is, because it explains the whole problem. Milk is the one food in nature designed to be a complete meal for a growing infant. It has fat, protein, and a sugar called lactose. That sugar is key to this entire story. To get energy out of lactose, your gut needs a specific tool, an enzyme called lactase. Lactase is like a key that fits the lactose lock. No key, no way in. Every healthy human baby is born making plenty of lactase. That makes sense. A newborn's only food is milk, so the body switches lactase on at full power from day one. But here is the default plan written into nearly every mammal, including almost all of human history. Once you are weaned, once you stop nursing, the body switches lactase off. It powers down the enzyme because you are never supposed to drink milk again. No adult mammal in the wild drinks milk. There is no reason to keep the machinery running. So in the normal course of things, you drink milk as a baby, and then you lose the ability forever. That is what happens to a cat, a dog, a cow, and to most humans who have ever lived. Now watch what happens when the enzyme is gone and you drink milk anyway. The lactose goes into your gut, and there is no key to unlock it, so it just sits there and travels down into your large intestine, where trillions of bacteria are waiting. To them, that undigested sugar is a feast. The bacteria devour it and produce gas, a lot of gas. That is the bloating, the cramps, the pain, and worse. This is lactose intolerance, and it is not a disease. It is the factory default. It is what is supposed to happen. So now the mystery sharpens. If drinking milk as an adult naturally makes you sick, why did a huge chunk of humanity end up able to do it? You do not evolve your way into eating something that hurts you. Something powerful had to be pushing. The answer starts around 11,000 years ago, when humans did something that changed everything. They stopped only hunting animals and started keeping them. Once you have a herd, you have a living, walking food source that does not require you to kill it. A cow gives milk again and again, and milk is rich. Fat, protein, calories, all renewable. In a hungry world, a herd that produces milk every single day is an incredible advantage. There was just one problem. The adults drinking it could not digest it. They were surrounded by this rich food, and their own bodies punished them for using it. And there is something people forget about that very first step. Somebody had to be the first to try it. Think about what milking an animal actually involves. Walking up to a large, powerful creature and taking the food meant for its baby. The first humans to do this had no idea if it was safe. No one had ever done it. There was no tradition telling them milk was food for a grown person. They were guessing, with their own stomachs as the test. And for most of them, it did not go well. Their bodies were not built for it, but they kept going because the reward, a renewable source of rich food, was the misery. That is the pattern behind almost everything our ancestors ate. Someone took the risk first, and the rest of us inherited the result. They let the milk go bad, on purpose. When you ferment milk into cheese or yogurt, microbes eat up most of the lactose before you ever do. The sugar that would have hurt you is already broken down. So across the ancient world, people were making cheese and fermented milk long before anyone could drink the fresh stuff safely. The archaeology backs this up. There is evidence of milk use in pottery from around 9,000 years ago, thousands of years before the genes to digest it show up. Read that carefully, because it is the strangest part. People were using milk for thousands of years while still being unable to drink it fresh. The culture came first. The biology came limping after. And then, in some populations, the biology changed. Somewhere in that long stretch of dairying, a mutation appeared. A tiny change in the DNA, in the switch that normally turns lactase off after childhood. In a few people, that switch broke, and it broke in the best possible way. Their lactase never shut down. They kept making the enzyme their whole lives. They could drink fresh milk as adults, straight from the animal, and feel perfectly fine. In a world where that milk meant survival, that was a staggering advantage. And this is where you can actually measure how powerful it was. Scientists have a name for this trait, lactase persistence, and when they look at how fast it spread through certain populations, the numbers are almost hard to believe. This is one of the strongest signals of natural selection ever found in the entire human genome. One set of estimates suggested that people carrying this mutation in the right environment produced meaningfully more surviving children than people without it. Generation after generation, the milk drinkers simply out-survived and out-reproduced everyone else, not because they were stronger or smarter, because they could turn a glass of milk into fuel and their neighbors could not. In a famine, when the crops failed, the person who could still drink milk lived. The person who could not, sometimes did not. Milk was a backup food source that only some bodies could unlock, and over thousands of years, that difference reshaped the genes of entire populations. Now I want to be careful and honest here, because this story is often told badly. You will sometimes hear this framed as a European thing, as if drinking milk is somehow tied to one part of the world. That is wrong, and the science is clear about it. Lactase persistence did not evolve once. It evolved several separate times, independently in different parts of the world. There are multiple different mutations that all achieve the same result, and several of them arose in Africa in population herding cattle completely on their own. Different genetic changes, same outcome, driven by the same pressure. People with herds, again and again, across the globe, evolved the ability to drink what those herds produced. It is one of the clearest examples we have of biology and culture pushing on each other. We invented herding. Herding rewarded the bodies that could use milk. Those bodies became more common. The culture changed the genes. And the researchers are honest that even this is not fully solved. The exact reason the mutation spread so fast is still debated. Some think it was about raw calories. Some think milk mattered most during famine, when other food ran out. Some point to clean liquid in places where water carried disease. The most likely answer is that it was several of these at once, and the balance was different in different places. What is not in doubt is the shape of the story. The ability came late, it came fast, and it came because milk was worth being sick over until our bodies finally caught up. So think about what that means for you, standing at the fridge. If you can drink milk without a second thought, you are carrying a mutation that a specific ancestor of yours happened to have in a specific place at a specific time, when it meant the difference between feeding your children and watching them starve. Every glass of milk you have ever drunk was made possible by a broken genetic switch that stayed broken because the people who had it lived and the people who did not, too often did not. You are not normal for drinking milk. You are the descendant of the ones who drank it when it hurt and survived long enough for their bodies to turn it into a gift. That glass in your hand is one of the clearest pieces of evidence in your whole body that evolution is not finished, and that it was working on your family recently over something as ordinary as breakfast. Next time you drink it, remember, most adults who ever lived could not. You can. Because someone, a very long time ago, refused to stop. See you in the next one.